morning. I'm here folding clothes. I like to get up early, you know, do what I gotta do before my day gets started. I'm back to work on another lawsuit, so my time is very, very limited. But anyway, I want to talk about living in the suburbs. In 2000, April, it was Easter, 2004, I came down here and visit my friend. We both used to work for Judge Womack, and she kept saying, "Shawana, come down here, and you'll do well here in Georgia. That you will do well." I was about, I may have been like 35, 36 at the time, and I came down here, my family and I. We came down here, and I fell in love. I fell in love with this place because we were riding through neighborhoods, okay, that were predominantly black, that I've never saw before, and they would just wave as you drive past, and I was like, oh my God. And I had already been listening to Eddie Long. You know, I was working at BMG Entertainment at the time. Sony was in the process of buying BMG, and they were, letting people go. But I went and asked them, "Can I have a package? Can I go? Can I buy?" And they were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, you ain't one of the ones we were gonna get rid of. I was like, give me a package. And that black lawyer, I wish I can I'm going to find him. I want to thank him. He hooked a sister up. When I tell you he hooked me up with a man, and I moved here. But one thing, I never made a mistake. Okay, because I don't really travel outside Gwinnett too much. I just basically go to Fulton, DeKalb, Cobb, and Gwinnett. But because you black folks will get fooled real quick. They think the rest of Georgia look like Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I came down here, and one thing I never wanted to do was live. I said it either has to be a mixed neighborhood or a predominantly black neighborhood. And when I bought my first house, the neighbor was Caucasian. And he went on his porch and he brought all his guns outside. He was dating a woman, the white woman next door to me. And he saw a black family with three children, three small children, and two of them were black males, small. They were small. Still, he wanted to let us know he got guns and he don't F around. Well, that neighbor, that white lady, she got rid of him eventually, years later. But that neighbor loved us so much. She always said, "Your kids are so well behaved, blah, blah, blah." Well, they supposed to be. I'm their mother. I don't play those reindeer games. And she loved us. Every Christmas she would bake us cookies and bring them over. I miss those cookies too. I should have got that recipe from her. Make the cookies, and I'm talking about cookies that look like they came from the bakery. She loved us. When we moved, after we lost the house, because I got tired of fighting with Bank of America. It was a 10-year fight. I was over it. Um, she she cried. She cried so bad, and she moved shortly after that. She moved shortly after we, she got up out of there. Okay, she loved us because we didn't. All my life, I made sure that I did not fit any stereotypes. Not because I wanted to be their friend, not because I wanted them to like me, because I wanted to show them that they're wrong. That's why you don't see me arguing with racist people. They come under my comment. That's why I took attorney mom out my name. Cause I said, you know what? As soon as they think you a lawyer, they want to horn in on you and stuff, and bait you and stuff. And I know sometimes ruthless come out, ruthless come that Patterson, New Jersey. Y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. I almost turned up on a few folks a couple of times at work. Disrespectful people. And to this day, because I have one of the most powerful degrees, even the dumb lawyers are powerful. Okay? It's a very powerful position to have, and I don't take it lightly. I don't play games with it. And I took my degree, talent, brain, and I laid it at the altar, and I said, God, use me. I have zero fear. Zero. Because the devil tried to come for me at my weakest, and I still didn't break. People break for much less in life. And I told my kids, because they went to a predominantly white school, I told my kids, okay, we I told them the truth. Now my daughter met some great friends. I mean, they truly are like the the Abraham Rainbow. Friends, they come from all nationalities, all group. I told her, I still told her, I said, look, I don't care. She has a Caucasian boyfriend. I said, I don't care. You're still a Negro. I tell my kids the truth. You talk to my kids. I told my boys, they love football. They love playing football, and they were very good till they got hurt. I said to my boys, I said, why play for a team when you can own one? I taught them that type of mentality. I didn't teach them to be slaves. I didn't teach them to put their destinies in the hands of another person. And I make no mistakes. It ain't like white people don't invite me places. I mean, most of the players on the team, when we first started out here, team moms, everything, they were Caucasians. I never made it. I was like, okay, we went over to a couple of pool parties, but that's it. That's about as far as I go. And it was segregated, not just naturally. You're gonna gravitate to people you're comfortable with. And we in the black moms got our corner, and we just sat there looking at folks, you know, ready for stuff to pop off. We popped off on a few people down here because we had to let them know we from the north. We ain't playing that ish, okay? I had to show up and we had to flex a few times on some people. But the reason why I get respect is because I don't beg for respect. I don't deny who I am. I don't deny our plight in this country, but I don't use it as an excuse for the fuck shit. You gotta move smart because they want us to turn up. That's why the civil rights movement, I know we were mad. I know Malcolm was mad watching black folks get beat, but look how effective it was because they didn't have an answer for prayer. They didn't have an answer for nonviolence. But fast forward today, we done took enough hoses, church bombings, lynchings. We done turned enough cheeks. We will defend ourselves. See, these YNs haven't been indoctrinated. These YNs, their temperament is much different than Generation X and the baby boomers. These YNs ain't having it. They're not having it. They're not having it. And I try to warn these white folks. I always give warnings. I tell them, I says, look, these, and it's not all white folks. It's not all white folks. Do not paint with a broad brush. It's not white folks. It's not all white folks. Because some of them will go to bat with you before some of these shiesty Negroes. You know, the ones on the internet talking about victimization. But yet and still never tell the Jews when they bring up the Holocaust that it's victimization. Wrong is wrong. Period. Wrong is wrong. And wrong should never respect persons, religions, or genealogy. You understand? Wrong is wrong and right is right. But time is up. Time is up. Okay? Time is up. Because God is tired of it. He's long suffering, but he ain't forever suffering. And you reap what you sow. And black folks, you ain't got to do a thing but be excellent. Be great at what you do. Be honorable. You don't have to waste your breath arguing with people who will never understand your plight. What you do is their kids are going to kill them. Their kids are going to turn them in. Their kids are going to expose them because their kids are tired of them. The kids are tired of them. You see, it's already done started. It's already done started. The kids are tired of the elites, and they will expose them. There is a reckoning going on. And the only people that are mad are the devils. I'm done.